Welcome to Weekend Night Live, hosted by Samuel Jacobs Abbey, where we play music, talk shows, and interviews on Be Inspired Podcast Network. Stay tuned and keep your dial on www.beinspiredpodcast.com. Don't forget to stay connected, be inspired, be unique, and be different.
Hello, my name is Quan Green, and I would love to share some products that I found that are very beneficial to not only my body, but I'm sure that they would really help your body. I found out that a lot of us are impacted and we need to be detoxed, and I found some wonderful products that will safely detox you and help you to eliminate the waste and feel good about yourself. We also have products that will help grow your hair and give your skin more vibrant radiance and suppleness and help with wrinkles. I also have products that will help with joint pain as well as help you to lose weight. These products are all natural, therefore you don't have to worry about putting something in your body that's going to add problems to the problems that you may already be facing. So if you're interested, please give me a call at 706-426-1471, or you can email me at preciousjewel492@gmail.com. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Wamaya, Wamaya, don't you? 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 Wamaya, Wamaya, don't you?
Okay. Hi, my name is Samuel Jacob Sabi, and I'm the host of Be Inspired with the Weekend Night Live with Samuel Jacob Sabi on Be Inspired Podcast Network. I just want to invite you and your family to tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time and also at 7 p.m. GMT for those across the Atlantic Ocean to tune in to listen to inspiring voices, to listen to our interviews, individuals who have excelled in different forms of life. We bring them so they will be able to share their stories, and we know that their stories will have an effect on you. On Being Inspired Podcast Network, our mission and our goal is to empower people from around the world who have attained a certain height and sharing their stories to make a social change implication. Social change is very important, and it is important that individuals, families, societies, and leadership spend time to acquire knowledge and skills to help formulate policies and ideas to help shape their communities. That is the more reason why I want to invite you again to tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time and also at 7:30 GMT on Be Inspired Podcast Network. You can catch us up on www.beinspiredpodcast.network, or you can also join us on our Facebook at Be Inspired Podcast Network, and we can have fun. Once again, tune in and have fun. God bless you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends of Being Inspired, I am so excited that today, once again, we have gathered to discuss a social problem, but not only just a social problem, but to discuss the issue of empowerment. And just for the sake of those who are joining us for the very first time, and first, before I go into that, let me say thank you to all those who have tuned in, especially those of you who are have tuned in from different parts of the world. I see about 7 or 8 people who have tuned in all the way from Australia, and I know the time, maybe probably some midnight there. I see about 20 in Nigeria. As much as I can, I see a lot of people from Ghana. I see well, the numbers are just increasing. Well, I have about 15,000 plus so all over the world who are so patiently waiting to hear our guests. And so, just for the sake of those who are joining us for the first time, Be Inspired Podcast Network is primarily an innovative and a cutting edge radio program full of inspiration and information with a mission to provide a platform that helps people solve problems, make informed decisions, and also craft solutions to address societal, most complex, and sometimes controversial issues. And we do this by basically identify individuals, groups, and organizations who are doing so well in their areas of endeavor, and we invite them to be on our show so they can use their success stories to empower and to encourage others to come along. Today is no exception, and today we are very privileged because our resource person, she has been on this show before. Once upon a time, when she was on this show, she was teaching us about breast cancer and how to hold your breast, and it was exotic conversation, for you to laugh. But today we are going to discuss yet another important social issue, which is more of building capacity for girls to be successful in life. This is so important because women, in particular young girls, over the years have been marginalized, and it's so sad and pity that we always find a way to justify why the woman or a young girl or a girl child should be relegated, and a young man or a male child be given opportunity instead of the young girl. This has been a social problem, and so today our conversation is going to help us discuss various ways by which young girls, young women, girls will be empowered to be able to succeed in life. Without any protocol or whatsoever. Susan herself, she's an astute learner. Currently, she's pursuing a PhD, and so you should know that the resource person is a highly scholar, and so she's going to walk us through some areas to build capacity. But more importantly, she is the CEO, the president, and the founder of Susan Koduah organization. And what does this organization mean? Now, this organization currently serves underprivileged girls from ages 6 through 20 years. Now, the organization provides both financial assistance and other areas of educational needs, alongside with the health and psychological needs to young women. Now, this financial support covers anything from material needed, as well as support to help them become better women. And folks, just believe me, anything that borders on empowerment, building capacity of women, I am all for it. And so this organization caught my attention with the work that they are doing. And when I reached out to Susan, she willingly agreed to be on this show. And guess what? Today we have now 15,715 people who are going to listen to Susan and find different ways to collaborate the energies to support the goal and the mission of Susan Koduah organization as a way to build capacity to help young women be successful in life. And so without any much ado, let me go straight to Susan. And again, just for the sake of those who did not get the opportunity to listen to her the very last time she was on our show, I'll give her the opportunity to introduce herself again, and then we'll pick the conversation from there. So over to you, Susan.
Okay, wow. I'm very pleased to allow each and every one of you allowing me to be on this show this afternoon. It's a beautiful day out there, wherever you are at. I'm very sure it is because it's been granted to us by the Lord. Uh, Sam has said enough about me, but by profession, I'm a nurse educator, so I do teach. I'm a clinical faculty member at George Washington University here in Virginia, United States of America. And I also do work as an oncology nurse certified in that area every now and then as I'm able to at Virginia Hospital Center, Arlington, and on the board for the Oncology Nursing Society and other things that I do. But I'm very passionate when it comes to girls' education and supporting them. But before I go into that, let me just tell you a little bit about Susan Koduah organization. The thought of putting all this together actually came to me about 2 years ago, but I put it off. And last year in the summer, he came back and it was almost what I would call the vengeance. I had sleepless nights, so I had to go for that calling. And it's been a smooth process. You know, officially it was formed in September of 2017. Even though financially we don't have much, but what we are able to support the community with in terms of, you know, educational resources, giving talks and other things, has been amazing. And we are very grateful to the Lord. Our vision is to support girls to succeed in life. And to do that, you know, you help them to take ownership of their education and health. So the organization's core vision is really supporting girls' health and education. And with the education, you know, it'll be through teaching seminars, also supporting them financially because there are some girls who would like to go to school, but they cannot. So if we are able to, then we reach out to them. Currently, we do have 2 young girls that we are supporting in Ghana. And there are other things that we have done. If I have to talk about it, we'll probably be on this line all day. The biggest of all, as Sam has said, is empowerment, you know, empowerment. But before I get into all that, Sam, if I do have few minutes,
You do.
I would like to talk a little bit about a little bit of science so we can understand why we have to support these girls, and it will make more sense as to why girls behave in certain ways or act in certain ways. So with this science behind it, we can all clear our minds on certain things. So I'll just touch on a few things with regards to brain development. 4 things. One is processing, the chemistry, the structure, and blood flow and brain activity. When it comes to processing, girls have what is called more of a white matter, about 10 times is what research says. And they do utilize that more. So for that reason, a girl or a woman, it's able to network and multitask. So if you're hearing me right, why will you let somebody who can multitask, who can network and process at a faster rate, why will you not want to give that person a chance? So girls do utilize their white matter, which is one of the areas that the brain utilizes to process information. And boys, on the other hand, use gray matter. The second thing is chemistry, the chemistry of our brain. There are several chemicals within our brain, and I'll touch on 2. Serotonin helps us to sit still. And if you have to tell a boy and a girl to sit, especially as they are growing up, there is a greater chance that a girl will probably sit more quietly than a boy, if we can all attest to that. Another thing is oxytocin. It helps us to bond. So for someone who is able to bond, most of the time that person can easily attract others and get more done. So these two chemicals are very, very critical, and it helps girls to be able to reach certain milestones. I'll get to the structure. Girls have a bigger hippocampus, which is the memory center of our brain. And because of that, they do have a higher density with the neurons in the brain to connect, because we have that big memory center. So if girls have a bigger memory center, then that means they will be able to, at some point, revisit certain situations. Girls also utilize, do have two hemispheres in terms of our brain, left and right. Girls use both. Girls utilize both. And it's great that the girls have this and they can utilize it for a good cause. Boys, on the other hand, use more of their left. So if girls are using both left and right, then that means all their senses are at work, which is the five senses. The sense to see, our sense to hear, our sense to smell, our sense to feel and taste. So if a girl is able to utilize all these senses, why wouldn't you want to support this girl? Because this girl can multitask. Hence, mothers can be the big cheerleaders in supporting their children to do a whole lot of things, whilst they focus on other things too. The last one is the blood flow and brain activity. Girls, once again, have a higher level of brain flow. So we do tend to revisit things of the past. Hence, if someone has a question about emotions, girls get very emotional. So hopefully I've touched a little bit on why girls behave certain way, and it's also good for us to know this so we can understand with the great things they possess, we can allow them to put it to great cause. So having this knowledge, this little bit that I shared as a parent, as an educator, it will help all of us on the line to support our girls, because this needs to start from day one. This needs to start from day one. And I like how Sam mentioned empowerment. I was at the store one time and I ran into a Ghanaian person and I was sharing my foundation. Oh, you guys always talking about empowerment. You just want to take over the boys. That's not what empowerment is about. So I will just take this moment. There are several meanings of empowerment, but I think most of us go for the first one, which is to give someone power or authority to do something. Because usually when I do talk to people and I talk about empowerment, especially within our African American society, what I hear is, oh, you just want to overcome the man, because they believe in that definition of empowerment. But that's not what that's about. I personally like the second one, which is to empower someone means you make someone strong and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. So we see the two different meanings of empowerment. More people go for the first one, where they think girls are taking authority and want to overtake the men. That's not what it is. But we just want to get them to grow, to be confident, and to be able to take control of their life and claim what they need to claim. I will also share a story before I get to what we can do, based on the story of Luke chapter 10, verse 39 through 42. If you are familiar with that story, but just to sum it up, Mary chose to sit at the feet of Jesus whilst her sister Martha was cooking. So even Jesus allowed a woman to be his student or his pupil to sit at his feet. There was no separation or nothing in the Bible that I'm not a preacher of the word. I just read the Bible and this is what I know. That, yes, the man is the head of the house, but when it comes to doing things, and it also says two are better than one. Hence, later in life, a man and woman join. So if we can support our girls to be empowered, to have the confidence, just like Jesus did, then yes, they will be able to grow out and do other things in the future.
Well,
Girls worldwide do suffer inequalities, and some of the things that they do suffer from include education, health, and violence. So as we move on, I will focus strictly on education and health. And if someone wants to ask a question or someone wants to ask a question at this point before I proceed, that will be fine.
great. I am smiling because just yesterday I was talking to someone and I was just telling that individual, and I could see that individual listening to you now, that you are unconventional speaker because your understanding of the subject always amazes me, and I like the fact that even before we begin, you are able to give us a perspective by introducing us into the scientific study as to the behavioral pattern of boys and girls, or a man and a woman, and then correlate it into the conversation, which is great. Now, there are so many questions that are just pouring in. I'm sure most of them were typing based on the areas that you were describing prior to this. Without wasting much of the time, and because there are a lot of questions, what I would do is that I will ask some of the questions and we can interact around that area, and
Okay.
then we can pick it up from there. So this question actually, the first question is coming from Robert, and Robert is writing from Sydney in Australia. And Robert's question to you is that, oh, Susan, I just went to your website. Great job you guys are doing. I think that your website need a little update, just because I was trying to read your profile, and when I clicked on the stuff, you are not able to read the content of your background. But having said that, my question to you is that apart from Ghana, which other countries do you intend to take your initiative to? Because I am very interested in knowing about it.
Wow. Thank you, Robert. My biggest goal and prayer, and that is why when I originally set this up here in the United States, I did not pick any country. My goal, and with everyone's support, is to reach out to the world. So I'll tell you a couple of things. Because if you look at our mission, we are doing a lot of several things for as long as it's in line with our mission. So the two girls, someone just reached out to me. Now in Ghana, I think senior high school is free, but they couldn't afford other things. So that's what we're supporting them with. But even here in the United States, there is a place here that, what do they call it? I forgot the name, but it's teenage girls who have been kicked out of their homes because they got pregnant. So they know about us, and because I'm also a professional speaker, that they are aware that they can utilize that. Professional speaking is just on the side. That's not part of the foundation, and I do that voluntarily. that they can reach out to me through the organization. And also, we were able to support, there's a foundation in Ghana that was doing a Feed the Hungry mission this past Easter. We were able to support a little bit. And actually, coming this summer, my oldest daughter and her friends, two girls that I also mentor, they are hosting a girls empowerment seminar on behalf of the organization to bring light to what girls can do. So any place that we get the opportunity to go, depending on our finances, because everything is also about money, it's open to the world. So hopefully I've answered that question.
Awesome, awesome. And I must say that probably Robert, if you're listening again, the I know the reason why you asked this question is because you have mentioned to me on a side note that you're a medical doctor, and so I'm sure maybe the interest there is to see how you can support this initiative with any medical aids, if that is the intent. But hey, you are always welcome to support in any way that you can, because that is the whole purpose of this conversation, to support the foundation, to reach out and to empower those who needed to be empowered. Now, let me go straight to Sierra Leone here, and then I have Bangura, also a frequent listener of our show. And Bangura writes, thank you so much for this topic. When I first saw the flyer, I kept wondering what is different from your organization that other institutions or NGOs aren't doing. And so, can you please share with me the unique selling proposition of your mission and your vision statement, so that I will have a better understanding of what new thing you're bringing into the communities? Because, like you know, there are a lot of NGOs and civil society organizations doing similar things.
Thank you very much. And you said the person's name is what? Bangura?
Bangura from Sierra Leone.
Bangura. On that note, I am going to share Alberto Bandura's self-efficacy theory, because that is something that I am really big on, that I always think of as an individual, that I am trying to instill in the girls that I even mentor, that maybe other girl organizations might not do. So self-efficacy, what is that? It relates to a person's perception of their ability to reach a goal. So for girls, and I will tell you as an individual, I am just finishing this class that I'm taking, and yesterday we had to post the one biggest thing we had gained for this course, and I said self-efficacy, because I did not know it was that big. Because as a doctoral student, I need to believe in myself. A girl needs to believe in themselves to be able to believe that you have the potential to reach a goal. So most of the time when I'm talking to most of the girls and even some women that are down, I tell them, and we start and have a conversation about self-efficacy. Because without that, you cannot help someone to build on their self-esteem, which girls need at big time. With that said, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem relates to a person's sense of self-worth. Am I worth anything? And that is when the emotions of girls come in. So you have to be careful when you're dealing with girls. So when that happens, then you have to talk that girl out of it. I was actually talking to a student of mine a couple of days ago, and out of that conversation, this came out, and I said, okay, I think so. I've asked the person to reach out to us, because that's one of the things that I go out of my way to talk to girls about, that you need to believe in yourself. You are worth something. And that might be something that other organizations might not be doing. Yes, the finances might be there, the resources might be there, but what do you have to offer me? Because if you don't believe in yourself as a girl, that you have the potential, or as parents, as friends, as teachers, if we don't teach them, if we don't instill that in them, they feel like they are nobody. So that for me is a big thing. And that's what, even I have two girls and I tell them that all the time. I said, believe in yourself. That self efficacy, once you know that you can reach this goal, then that will, on that, you build on your self esteem and believe that, yes, I am worth something, because nobody is going to tell you that you're worth something. You need to be your own cheerleader. And when you are your own cheerleader, then you can impact it to others.
Wow, wow, wow. Thanks so much for sharing the theory with us. And I agree with you. I mean, self-efficacy theory is also one of my favorites. You see, there's the reason why Susan and I connect so well, because even academically, it's true, because when I was on my PhD program, I was actually researching on healthcare accessibility and quality of life. And I was looking at it from the perspective of healthcare professionals. And so, with that, I chose to use the self efficacy model, and it works like magic, because it gives you people's perspective. But we'll leave that for another conversation, because there are more questions here for us to look at. And so now let's go to Lucille. Lucille is writing from the UK, and Lucille said, "Good work you are doing. Uh, how can government engages effectively with ministries and departments to mobilize resources outside of their countries to support initiatives like yours?"
Wow, that's a big and interesting question. So I can speak for here, since this organization is initially registered here, even though we're trying to reach out to the world. So everything that you do, there's a law, right? So to even get to a government organization to help such a thing here in the United States, yes, we are 501c approved, meaning we're tax exempt. But in order for my organization to reach out to even a government entity or business, you need what is called solicitation privileges, and that you have to renew every year. Glory be to the Lord. We just got ours about 2 weeks ago. So we are
Nice.
hoping,
Very
we are
nice.
hoping to reach out to the entities that we believe might be of help to us.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that as well, and congratulations on that note. I'm sure it's just one step towards empowering young women from around the world. Thank you, Lucille, for that beautiful question. A question is also coming from Yusuf, and Yusuf is writing from Abu Dhabi in Qatar. And he said that empowering women and girl child is an important step that every government, every institution must get involved. In your own perspective, Susan, why do you think that our governments and our communities knows the reality, but yet they refuse to allot enough funding to support these initiatives?
My first answer is only God knows. And then I'll take it from there.
Yeah.
If we can revisit what I talked about with the brain. So as we can tell, based on the brain development, we can tell a girl can do so much. If anyone can multitask, they can accomplish a lot of things. If you know, if you can bond with someone, there is the potential that you might be able to get things done because you can easily associate. So, from my personal perspective, I think there is a fear because if we can all attest to it, most of the time when a woman is in power and they're doing stuff, no games around. They are focused and they are doing what needs to be done. So, from my personal perspective, I think that is part. It's one of the big things. It's one of the big things that, and there's also been that thing going back to the definition that if we give a girl the opportunity to succeed, to go to school, to become a lawyer, to become a teacher, to become whatever, you know, they might overtake this world. But I don't think that's what it is. But if we can focus on the number two definition that I like, you know, which is the, you know, just giving them the opportunity to excel, then together, men and women together, we can make a great nation. And if you've seen, I like, and that's why I have this on my website. I like the quote by Dr. Kwesi Agri from Ghana, and most people know about this. That if you educate a man, and that goes to the brain things that I talked about, you educate an individual. Please, no one should take offense. It's just that just because of the fact that a woman can multitask. So for that, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation because that one woman can reach out to so many people. It's not going to be an individual because women tend to be more outgoing and get involved. So that is my personal perspective on that.
Got you. Got you. Get you. So now let's go to Ghana, and this is coming from Erekia. And Erekia question is that what are the most effective ways by which your organization encourages women to participate in politics? I am asking this question because uh, when you have women in leadership, they are able to influence policy better. And so, if your organization, I know it's a new organization, but what strategic plans do you have in place to encourage women in political participation?
Okay. Thank you very much for this question. To answer this question, I'll probably give some thoughts because, in all honesty, as a person, I'm not, I love leadership, but I'm not a big fan of politics. So I will take this and answer it more on a general level as to what we can do. Because if we can do these things, then we can empower any woman at any level, whether to be a politician, whether to be a preacher, whether to be whatever they want to be. These things can help them. And that starts from childhood. That's why I'm really big on pushing this from childhood. And a couple of the things that I will share, because you don't wait for someone to grow up to expect a change. That will be by miracle. So from childhood, these things need to be done. As parents, we need to be involved in the attendance of our children's school going, because here, this statistics I'm giving you is from the United States. I'm not sure about the rest of the world. If a child misses 8 days per term, and here we have, like summer, spring, they start September through June. That's like the school year. I'm very sure most places are kind of like that. So I can probably generalize it. If a child misses 8 days per term, that equals to 1 year by the end of their primary school. So if you have somebody who has missed this many days, we have a lot of work to do. Hence, it's very important to focus in that area. Be involved. As parents, let's be role models. Let's be role models. I think I can go on and on and on about that. If your girl sees that you don't even have to be in school, but you're always reading something. You are getting active in your community. You are doing things that they look up to. That makes you a role model. So let it start from home. Lend a hand, reach out to the school. Let's get involved in the schools that they are in. I'm saying all this because if we cannot get these basic things as they are girls, then you cannot expect them to be great in leadership as they grow up. Because I can tell you, I think for me as a person, the childhood stuff that I gained has brought me this far. And it's all because of some of these things. Get involved in their lives, know what's going on, reduce concerns about their self-imaging. Okay, you need to teach them to be assertive, to be confident, to be independent, to be self-assurance. And that goes back to when I talked about the self-efficacy. If one knows that they have a potential to get to a goal, they will have a higher level of confidence. They will be assertive and they will be independent and have the assurance that yes, I can do it. And as parents, we need to examine our expectations. Everyone knows what their girl child can do and what they cannot do. And I have come to believe, yes, the A grade is great, but are they really book A or can they really apply? If you can make A's and you can apply the knowledge, I'm sorry, we have a problem. So if you're a parent, yes, you can set that expectation. But if you ask that child, if you learned about, let's say, Tylenol in your chemistry class, just an example, and you can tell me what that's about, but you scored and got an A, and I'm happy as a parent, I'm not going to be. So we need to be aware of our expectations and, reach out to the teachers if you have to. Because if these things are not instilled in them from childhood, it will be a problem for them to even make it into that leadership. Support your girls to take control of their learning. And that's one of the things that we're doing through effort, strategy, and attitudes. So if they are struggling in an area, is there something you can do? How can you help that child get the best and come out? Because there are things called in some people, there are intrinsic and extrinsic factors. There are some people who also just like to stay within themselves, but they need a little motivation. There is someone who might be able to be a politician as a woman politician, but sometimes they need a little push. And sometimes we have to do that. And I will share this with, like, my oldest daughter wrote this poem. I think, Sam, I've shared it with you. And that poem, she did not want to get it published. So I go to the school a lot. And the English teacher said, I think I said, and I said, I am the mother. It's going to be published. So you see where we come to play. And I got that, with my permission, the story got published. That poem won an award for the first place.
Wow. Wow.
And so if we do these things from childhood, then yes, later we can push them into the politics, empower them in that area, and yes, they can do great things. So hopefully, overall, I have kind of answered this in a general way.
Exactly, exactly. You have. So this is also coming from Mariam. And Mariam, she's writing from Kwara State in northern Nigeria, and she said, uh, family unit is so important, and the family has a pivotal role to play in the empowerment of women. Now, do you have a special program where you also build the capacity of the family unit in supporting your initiatives? I'm asking this question because if you are not careful, you will empower young women like you are doing now, but yet they get disempowered at home and your effort becomes meaningless. What do you think about that?
Thank you very much for this question. And I will say yes. Yes, because we had thought of that, because you will teach these girls to do things and they'll go home and parents will do other things. So actually talking about the program, I don't know if I'd mentioned that my daughter and friends are hosting. We're encouraging the parents. They are actually going to help and be sponsors of this program. So they can be there, one, to be role model, two, to hear, because now girls empowerment is becoming a big thing. When I was growing up, honestly, I didn't know such thing. So I think most people like me don't know about such thing. So getting them involved, I 100% agree that, so we do have that at the back of our mind, and everything that we're doing, we get the parents involved and their permission, and we do talk to them as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, the questions are just coming in and we are just having fun and I love the flow. I love the flow. So now we've been to Ghana, we've been to Nigeria, we've been to Sierra Leone. Now let's go all the way to Southern Asia and in the city of Kathmandu in Nepal. And this is coming from Yogi G. And Yogi, question to you is that under what conditions will you recommend that uh, a parent be arrested for disempowering the gay child?
Wow. We'll see how best, in all honesty, you know, this is an organization, and yes, we do have programs, but it's not like we have this as our office and you can come here and tell us what's going on with your education and your health. But I will tell you, I personally talk to a lot of girls, and I think there have to be some level of trust before that will probably be outside us, but with trust, I will get involved with the family to see what's going on. But within our organization, we might not be able to do that, but could make a referral to social services and they can take it from there.
Got you, got you, got you. Great. So since we are in Asia, let's stay in Asia. And this is also coming from India, and I know India is a neighboring country to Nepal. And this is coming from Singh, and Singh's question is that hello Samuel and Susan, thank you so much for sharing these wonderful ideas with us. Uh, Now my question to you both is that this is such a beautiful initiative. What are some of the immediate challenges that the Susan Kundra Foundation or organization is facing, and how can we, those of us who are listening to her now, help in whatever way?
Okay, thank you very much. This is a beautiful question. I will tell you, in all honesty, the biggest immediate challenge right now, it's financial, because what we will love to do, like I said, we don't have any particular country, but for me as a founder and the rest of my board, it will bring a lot of joy to us that, we'll have 100 people calling us that we have these girls at home. They can't go to school. Can your organization support us? And we will be able to send resources. But currently, we are only able to fully support these two girls, and then we can chip in here and there for others. But if we should have an influx of requests, we don't have the finances. If
Got
it's
you.
education, I can come out. If it's here, if you want to fly me to wherever you're at, I'll be more than happy to come and do a talk on anything. And luckily for every listener, I can talk about anything. A lot of the things, health, whatever you so desire, we can do.
Awesome. Awesome. So, a question I was trying to answer on the side note, but since so my good friend Adironke also in Nigeria, and she works. I mean, she has also been on our show. She works extensively with women and empowering women in the Lagos area. And her question to you is that since you are based in the United States, on what grounds, and or a question simply is, how are you empowering women and girls in Africa, especially in West Africa? And the follow-up question from her again is that uh, will you and the organization be willing to work with like-minded organizations like this in Nigeria to empower
Oh, yeah.
young people? Because, like I said, she is doing awesome work. I mean, they are doing just fantastic work. So that is over to you for your response.
Wow. I will answer the second one first. Yes, we are open to anyone, because as humans, there is no one answer on one person's brain. So communicating, sharing ideas, you might have something I don't have, I will have something. So that's also networking. So yes, we are open to sharing and working together with other organizations. When it comes to like Africa, I would say since we're a baby organization, and like I already said, the challenge is financial. Because when I went to Ghana last year, even my family was like, "So who's been sponsoring you to do these things?" And I said, "On my own ticket," because I'm very passionate about it. I was able to go to the village, and we had a girls seminar with some of the pictures on our website, and it was beautiful. And I learned a lot from them. And with girls, especially the group that we had was like teenagers, was, there is all this hormonal rise, and I shared some experiences with them. So with that, my goal right now, if I can, because there is also so much that I have going on here and my board as well, just trying to take it one step at a time. If at least once a year someone can go and kind of work out with something, and there's actually another organization, a youth organization, who have reached out to us, but I don't have a space on my calendar right now, and I'm thinking maybe December, and that's in Ghana, but I'm not sure yet because I have some stuff that needs to be done here as well. So, yes, we're willing to work with anyone who is ready to collaborate with us.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now let's move. I just wanted to be sure we wrap up. I just wanted to make sure I've given every continent, because we started with Australia. We have given every continent their fair share of the questions. So now let's go to Northern America, and this is coming from Ohio, and it's coming from Christy from Ohio. And Christy's question is that thank you so much for this initiative. I really love it. I love your guest. She seems extremely knowledgeable and passionate about what she does. And so I just first of all want to congratulate her for taking this initiative and moving forward. But my question to her is that uh, how difficult it is to raise funding in the United States for this initiative. From my perspective, I think this is a good product that needs to be supported. So if there is a way people can chip in, just a Windows mic to support them, she can also let us know, and we'll do our best to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a compliment. Yes, it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just for saying that, we truly appreciate your honesty and saying, because I can tell you, you send link and stuff to people, you direct them to your website, and you get a thumbs up with no finances following it. So that's a big thing. So
That's,
so
that's
we
true.
will greatly appreciate. We love the thumbs up and we love the compliments, but we do need the finances to make it grow.
Very good, very good, very good. Now let me go to uh, the Midwest. I have California, and I have Frank from California, and the Frank question is that now, since your organization is focusing more on empowering young women, particularly in Africa, have you thought of having a discussion with the permanent secretary of the African Union at the United Nations, or have you also thought of having formal meetings with the ambassadors of the African countries that you have targeted, either in Washington D.C. area or in New York?
Thank you for asking me this question. I have not, and it's on the plate to be done. We're just trying to take one step at a time and to let things fall into place.
Got you, got you, got you. All right, folks. So it's getting interesting now. Let's come home in the city of Woodbridge, and the question is coming from Mami in Woodbridge, and Mami's question is that, oh, Susan, this is awesome. You and your team are doing such a wonderful job. Congratulations to your team, and we are all willing to support. Yes, the thumbs up is good, but money is also needed to support. I agree with you perfectly on that, and we will all do our portion to help make your initiative a reality. My question to you is that how do you identify these individuals that you support? Are they just family members? Were they recommended by friends? How do you identify them?
Okay, that's a good question. So these two particular girls that we're supporting, because you cannot start anything and have you start general and you narrow it down. So, like I said, this thing came to me and I said, forget it. I don't have time to do this. But when it came, I had a lot of, support. And actually, my good friend Aisha, she's here in Lawton, that helped me to make this a success. She said, well, you were born, even if you've never been there, you need to start from somewhere and probably your parents' village or something. So I said, okay, that's a good idea. So the two girls were actually recommended based on their results, and I was sent a copy uh, from the junior high school that they went to. Within, I don't know these girls from Adam, and I only got to meet them because I wanted to meet them when I went to Ghana. So obviously there were several girls, but their results, and they had to write a letter as to what, if the foundation is able to support them, what they will do with the education in the future. So they were able to please our requirements. So that's how those girls were um, chosen. And our goal this year, because once you cannot pick up somebody and leave them because they don't have no help. So every semester we need to cover their books and whatever else they need so they will not be stressed with their studying. So our goal is to be able to support two other girls this year. So hopefully I've been able to answer a little bit partly of your question. So that's how these two girls were chosen. And their story is actually on our website with their pictures.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us as well. So since we are in the city of Woodbridge, let's go to the neighboring city, the city of Manassas, and this is coming from Araba, and Araba said, "Ho ho, Susan, you haven't stopped surprising us with your in-depth knowledge and your passion of empowering and supporting women. I know you are figuring out in your mind who is this Araba lady. Of course, you will not be able to know because that is not my actual name. But I just want to encourage you and empower you and let you know that we appreciate the work that you do, and we are encouraged every day by your effort. And yes, I also agree with mommy, because the thumbs up is good, money is needed, and watch out in the mail very soon. My money will appear in your Chantilly address.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. And you're welcome to do it on our website too. It's secured.
Absolutely. So, hey, however, the website is preferred than the check, but hey, we still need a check too. So,
Hey, cash, we have Cash App, we have Venmo, we have everything. So
everything.
whatever works.
Oh man, so thanks so much, Ara, for that contribution. So now let's go to Canada, and probably we'll take two more before we wrap up because I'm looking at the time. We've already done an hour. Uh, so let's go to Canada, and this is coming from Mike Sink, and Mike Sink in Canada. He writes, "Thank you for this initiative. Uh, are you only going to focus on marginalized kids who are in Africa? What about those here in Canada and in the United States who are from the African origin, but yet they are either homeless or they don't have any meaningful life? Any action plan for them as well?"
Oh wow. This is um this is powerful. And like I said, we are not we our goal, our biggest goal is to reach out to the world. There is a girl that I told, and this person is even Caucasian. I said, this is the organization. Write to us officially because based on the story the person was telling me, it fits perfectly in our vision and mission. So I said, write to us and we will be able to, at this point, support you a little bit with this much. All goes back to the money. So everybody on the line today, all these 15,000 plus people, we'll see how much go to the website. It's all because it will be my joy. I'm already very excited, even though we've only been in existence since September, and the lives that we have impacted, not just financially, but, sharing the knowledge, being there, just talking and hearing people out has been a blessing for myself and the people that we have impacted. So no, we are not even just focusing on Africans or African Americans. So we're just trying to get all girls to be empowered to be able to do what they've been ordained by God to do and to help their partners in the future. That's all what this is about. So there won't be a burden on nobody, and nobody will be a burden on them either. That with unity, everything, if we had that, this world will be a better place.
That I agree. And the last question for our show is actually coming from Emmanuel. And Emmanuel is writing from the Netherlands. And then Emmanuel said, uh, so in your quest to empower women, have you thought of the cultural challenges that you may encounter? What strategies do you have in place to deal with our culture? Because in Africa, even though I live here in the Netherlands, I'm originally from Africa. In Africa, our primitive ideologies on culture continue to play a pivotal role in our educational system. And so, how do you deal with culture in empowering women? Thank you very much.
That's a wonderful question. And yes, I know that 100% that it is going to be a challenge. And yes, that is when I personally. So for now, I can only say, like for the girls, when I went to Ghana, I met with the village that I went to. They have two schools. They have two schools there. So I met with the, what you will call like the principals or head master, and some of the few elderly, in Africa, when you go to a village, the elderly, you know, that runs the town or the city, they are there. So I
They
met
call the
with them.
show. They call the show.
Yeah, they call it so, right? And I shared with them, and they honestly, I was amazed. They're like, whatever. I was honestly amazed that they bought into this idea, and they are willing. They said, whatever you want to do to support these girls, we will support you. I was amazed, and they did a beautiful job, and they are. So I know it's going to be there. And it's like sometimes, and that I will also tell, it's not even only in Africa. Sometimes even the same thing here, like this program that we are about to do. I was thinking, talking about, because at the teenage years, hormones are rising. So having to talk about even sex education, you need permission. So that's a challenge. So I'm thinking of generating, a parental consent if we want to talk about that. So there won't be any issue. So it's everywhere. Those challenges we are well aware of, and we do have plans in place for them.
Oh, wow. Wow, folks, I know you are just having fun and you are enjoying yourself because the conversation is fluid. That's the reason why I love to have Susan all the time, because she can flow. There's no stress in giving answers, because you see, when things are coming directly from your heart and you are passionate about it, you don't have to think to answer because you live with them. And that's the evidence of our conversation today. I just want to thank all of you for this beautiful opportunity that Susan has given us. But before we come back to her to give us a wrap up, I want to first of all say congratulations to my friend Dr. Chibona in California. I know today is your birthday. Enjoy your day. We love you and we appreciate all the support that you give to our organization. Of course, nobody has written more check to support our organization than you, and we are very grateful that you have always continued to support us with your money, with your counsel, and with your advice. Let me also say happy birthday to now Conley Lawson. Thank you also for your support. We are grateful and we celebrate this occasion with you. God bless you both as you celebrate your birthday today. So, folks, let me also thank all of you for being with us and for supporting these initiatives that we've been working on weekly after each week. And we are grateful that you have stood with us and you have always supported us. But Susan said something which is interesting that I want to re-emphasize. Listen, uh, at this point in time, we had 15,904 people joining us. Now, just imagine that each one of you would just send $1, just $1 to support Susan's project. Guess how much that
Wow.
would be? Just $1. Just $1. That alone in itself will be 15,000 plus. So,
That's right.
folks, let me tell you this: knowledge is it's golden, and when people like Susan have put in a lot of effort to share their knowledge with us, because we are making an impact and we are bringing social change implication in our communities. It's also equally important that you will, as it were, support the initiatives that they are doing. And so I want to welcome all of you to visit their website, which is S. Koduah for Girls and Health. Oh, no, wait. It's S. Koduah for Girls Education. Educate and health.org.
Maybe Sam, you can put it on your platform.
I will definitely do that. I will put it on the platform, and then you are welcome to go to the website. And then what you need to do, just look on the website closely. On the extreme right hand of the website, you will see, I don't know if it's a dark golden button called Donate Now. Just hit that button, and any amount will help empower a young lady somewhere in the world that you will have no idea with. So, on that note, people, thank you once again. And at this point, we will ask Susan to wrap it up for us.
Okay, be inspired, listeners. I truly appreciate you for your time. I know you could have been doing something else, but you chose to share your time with us because it is valuable to you, just as it is to all of us on the line. So may God richly bless you. But just remember that I did share a few things, especially with the brain development with regards to processing, how girls process stuff, and, with the white matter having more so they can network and multitask. So don't forget your girls can multitask, so with that, you want to really support them. The chemistry, they can bond with people, they can sit still, and the structure. The memory center, they are utilizing both sides of the brain, which is a great asset for them. They have a higher brain flow, which, get them to be emotional sometimes. We can all attest to that. So if your girl is emotional and you understand all this, you know how to approach things. So you will help them when it's appropriate, and you might not make things worse. Remember, if you forget anything, our biggest theory that we learned, the self-efficacy, to get your girls to be empowered, help them to believe in themselves that they have the potential, they can reach a goal, they can do whatever they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do with our support. So we need to support them. And with that, I love the theme for what we're going to have this summer. A girl should be two things, who and what she wants. So let's empower them to be able to do these two things, that there are no stumbling blocks. So thank you all for your time, and let's support not even just this organization, just anything that is going to support, humanity. This is humanity, and to get our girls and our children where they need to be in the future. Thank you very, very much for your time. And thank you in advance to every single one of you for supporting the Susan O. Koduah organization, which is serving underprivileged young girls to succeed in life. Thank you, and you have a wonderful evening or day or night, wherever you're at.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. And thank you, folks, for staying tuned and enjoying this moment with us. Let me also take this opportunity before we wrap up to invite all of you. On Wednesdays, we have our Way of Worship program, which is being hosted by Lily Valerie Holdway. And so this Wednesday, we are discussing the lost glory, how sin separates us from God. And our guest this Wednesday will be Reverend Clarence D. Roberts from the Church of the Lord, the Church of the Harvest. And so please make a date with Lily this Wednesday, and your life will never be the same. And next Saturday, we are actually discussing the issue of the youth participation in attaining the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations. And we will have Sandra Kobler all the way in Ghana to be with us for this discussion. On that note, folks, once again, we are very grateful to Susan, and we thank all of you for staying tuned. Enjoy the rest of the weekend with your families, and continue to keep your dial on Being Inspired Podcast Network. God bless you, and we'll talk to Susan offline.